My name is Ray, and I've been on testosterone for 1 year. And the changes are
My name is Ray. I'm 37, about to turn 38. I've actually had one shot of tea, but there's really no changes yet. So this is effectively a pre-tea video.
noticeable. um, I'm splicing some bits of my very first video, my pre-tea essentially video in here for comparison and contrast. And obviously there have been some changes, not just in my voice, but I do feel like my face it's starting to square up a little bit. Facial hair is definitely a thing. Yeah, I'm impressed. This is only 1 year. 2 years probably holds more changes. So I'm looking forward to that. And today I'm going to be singing the same song that I sung on my very first
The
video.
week before Easter, on the morn bright and clear, the sun it shone brightly, and clean blue the air.
You will notice a difference. I can't comfortably sing it in the same pitch that I did in my first video, and that right there says a lot. So, song first, and then I'll talk a little bit more. I still have allergies. Testosterone's not going to make those go away. The week before Easter, on the morn bright and clear, the sun it shone brightly, and clean blue the air. I went to the forest to gather wild flowers, but the forest would yield me no roses. Oh, the roses are red, and the leaves they are green. All the bushes and briars are a joy to be seen, and the small birds are singing and changing their notes down among the wild beasts in the forest. The first time I saw my love, she was dressed all in white, made my eyes run and water, fair dazzled my sight. But now she has left me and shown me false play, for she's gone to be wed to another. The last time I saw my love, she did in the church stand, with a ring on her finger and a glove in her hand. And I thought to myself that I should have been that man, but she's left me and gone with some other. The parson that married them, aloud he did cry, all those that forbid it, I would have you stand nigh. And I thought to myself, I've a good reason why, but I had not the heart to forbid it. Oh, dig me my grave, dig it long, wide, and deep, and cover it over with flowers so sweet. And I lay myself down for to take a long sleep. for that's the best way to forget her. Still a little bit of a nice guy song, but it's a good one for showing off my range. So that is not the bottom of my range. I am still probably dropping some, but I think ultimately I'm going to be settled as a baritone. I don't think I'm going to become a bass, and I haven't quite got the bottom depth of a good baritone range, but it's coming. So I am seeing changes still at a year in, and expect to, through 2 years usually. That's what I've heard to expect anyways. So, what does it take to make a man in 1 year? It's obviously Halloween. I'm getting all decorated. I got the bowl of skulls and Halloween decorations up and around. But this is not a trick-or-treat candy bowl. This is most of my supplies for the past year. I think there were a few vials that I managed to find a biohazard container for at the beginning. But I've been having trouble finding a biohazard container, and my boss doesn't really want me to dump this at work because we pay by the pound for disposing them at work. But there is no padding or anything in the bottom of this bowl. It's just vials of testosterone and used syringes. Mine are 3 ml 25 gauge. I've heard some different guys out there use different gauges of needles, but I do feel like the 25 gauge is it's an in-between. If you go too thick of a needle, it's going to hurt obviously more to inject with. But if you go with too thin of a needle, because this is cypionate, which is in a heavy oil base, it gets really hard to draw it out of the syringe. Sometimes that can be the hardest part almost, is drawing it out of the syringe. So that's been my past year. It's not easy for people who have not started on T or who are not transgender, who are watching this more to gain an understanding. It is hard, even a year in, to stick a needle into myself. No matter how determined you are, no matter how much you psych yourself up for it, there is a certain level of your body that goes, hey, you're not supposed to be sticking sharp things into me. That's not good. Sharp things are not supposed to enter the body. So yeah, that's always going to be a thing. It's always going to be a little hard, but it's been worth it. And it's not terrible. There are days that it is harder than others. There are some days that I just, all the nerves are revved up. There's an adrenaline rush after you stick the needle in because your body's responding. That's just a natural response to, something sharp sticking into you. But even before that, sometimes the adrenaline ramps up because you're about to. Yeah, it's not super painful. It's probably harder than subcutaneous because it is IM. But it's once a week, and you get it over with, and you go on with your day, and it takes 5 minutes of your day once a week to see so much difference. It has really been worth it. The cost can be an issue. I am not getting my testosterone from the same pharmacy that I was at the beginning. Not just because of cost, but also because of issues with delays, with people just kind of dicking around, not understanding what amounts I needed when to keep the same dosage. And part of that may have been the insurance as well. Um, there are ways to affordably get testosterone out of pocket without insurance. GoodRx is a good resource. I'm sharing all this now because these are things that I didn't know at the beginning. Um, Obviously, this applies to the United States. I don't know how it is in other countries, but this has been my experience in the U.S. But yeah, GoodRx and Walgreens has done well by me, so that's what I'm using currently. And there might be something else better out there that I just haven't found yet, but that's my personal experience. Um, I I really slack off about the gym, about the whole exercising thing, and I still, for very little work, I see so much more gain in muscle definition and muscle mass just compared to when I was biologically female, when I didn't have these hormones. So that's, I can tell I've been slacking off, but I can also tell my arms didn't do that a year ago. that's, that's new. Um, and for somebody that slacks off and doesn't lift weights that much, I find that pretty impressive. Girls don't get that without some effort, and that's the way biologically the hormones work. Now there are women and men with varying levels of estrogen and testosterone, so some women are going to build muscle easier, some men are going to have more trouble. But yeah, and I'm really happy with the vocal changes. I'm okay if it goes deeper. I'm okay if it doesn't, because this is fantastic. I'm still adjusting to my new vocal range because it's been such a swift change over a year. It takes time to get used to that. I have lost some of my head voice. I know that with work I can probably get that back, at least to a certain degree. It'll probably never be where it was before, but that's okay. I've never been a tenor. Even before I took testosterone, I had a weird vocal range. I wasn't an alto, which is usually the lowest one for women. I wasn't a tenor. I've sung next to a guy, cisgender guy, who was a true tenor, and he could hit notes in his chest voice that I could never hit, ever in my life. So I was kind of like a baritone with half a range, which sucked, because nothing quite fit where I was at. So now I'm in a more normal place vocally. So that's a good thing. That opens up a lot that I can sing. But goddamn if a lot of the rock and roll isn't tenors. I don't know why there's so many tenor guy singers out there. So I've been learning recently to adjust everything down by half an octave or an octave just to suit where my vocal range is going to hit. Despite being a year on testosterone, I have had no surgeries at this point. What that means is I've still got these. I would like to not at some point. But I really don't wear a binder very often. I mostly just wear shirts that kind of help conceal it in sports bras. And I would like an ovarian hysterectomy sooner or later. At this point in time, if I were to stop taking testosterone, because I still have my ovaries and my uterus, I would revert back to looking more feminine. My understanding is most of the vocal changes would not revert, because your vocal cords are thickening, and that's very hard to reverse. That's also part of why transgender women have a lot of trouble with the voice, because having had masculine vocal cords, the estrogen doesn't really shrink them. There are other surgeries that can help with that, but yeah, some changes are only one way. But yeah, I have no regrets. Seriously, this is at this point, I'm being taken by 99% of people that don't have any history with me, just like strangers off the street, as male. Which I'm hitting the point. I've stopped counting the sirs and the being taken for male because it's becoming so commonplace, and I've hit the point where I've lost track of it. And on the phone too. Now that I got rid of customer service voice, most of the time I get taken for male on the phone. So yeah, I am living as a trans man, and I choose to live as a trans man rather than going stealth, because I am able to, because I have the support system in place that allows for that. I don't feel in danger of losing my support system, and therefore I do try to live openly, and I talk on Facebook about my experience as a trans man, because I know there are other people out there that can't be open about it. And I'm hoping, by exposing some of the people who are kind of on the fence about it being weird to somebody who is trans, and what that experience is like, maybe it'll help open doors so that there's a few more accepting people out there in the world. Whether or not I'm having any effect, I don't know, and I'll never know, but it's worth a try, worth the effort. So I do intend to continue making videos. I'll try and keep making them with the same, I was going to say regularity, the same irregularity that I have been, every 2 to 4 weeks or so. And I will try to make my next video right before Halloween. I'm still debating what I'm going to sing for that. But I do still have changes I want to track, and I don't know, I've gotten used to this. I keep hoping there's somebody out there that might be getting something beneficial out of these videos. So as long as there's a chance of that, I'll keep making them. I know there's a lot of need for some kind of support, for a sympathetic ear, and some support in the culture that we're in right now. So yeah, any trans guys that are not on testosterone and debating, it is worth it, but it's also not easy. So whichever way you need to go is do what's best for you. But yeah, and stay safe and hang in there. Presidents don't last forever. I will see you guys next time.